Oh, my name's Gabriel and I'm an addict. Ooh, man, I didn't think I was gonna get this nervous. I'm sitting in my seat and I'm praying, right? I'm praying to asking God to let me speak the right things, right? Because I've been wanting to speak at this 10-minute, even though it's 10 minutes, for me that's a long ass time because I'm scared as hell out here. I went to Nancy yesterday and I was like, hey, I want to be the 10-minute speaker tomorrow. She's like, okay, you got to get there early though. And she's seen me and she's like, that's right. But she didn't think I was gonna come. But my name's Gabriel. Like I said, I'm a hell of an addict. Born in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Upbringing was kind of shaky. I lived through the physical abuse of from my father. Doing weird shit as a kid. So that's how you know that. You know how when they say, even it sounds cliche, but when they say drugs and alcohol is not the problem, that shit is real. You guys need to believe that. At a young age, my mom used to catch me humping poles and shit, like at 7 or 8 years old, right? Like, what the hell is he doing, right? Or we'll go to Macy's and she'll catch me underneath the mannequins. I know that sounds disturbing, but that's being real, right? I was manipulative. I was a scammer. Man, I went through a lot of stuff as a kid. At 13 years old, I got jumped into a neighborhood. In my front yard, my mom was getting home from work, and she's like, "What the hell's going on?" I got all the homies in the front yard, and my scheming ass mind just started working. I was like, "Mom, I'm about to get jumped out. I regret getting jumped in. They're about to jump me out. Here, hold the clock." So my mom, when I got jumped in, was holding the clock for me to get jumped in, thinking I was gonna get jumped out. Who puts their mom through that at 13 years old? And life just continued that way for a long period of time. I had a father who never paid attention to me, and that was very hard for me, devastating. I didn't know how to deal with that. Like, even talking about it now, I get kind of emotional. I didn't know what to search for because he wasn't there, and I wanted him to be in my life. So that kind of fucked me up pretty bad growing up. I played sports to please him, and that never happened. And that was the heartbreaking right there in itself. I was very good at soccer. He got me in soccer. He used to play soccer. And all my childhood, I was playing soccer just to please him, and never got that acceptance, right? And that fucked me up growing up. And that's what brought me to the gangs and that lifestyle. And as I'm sitting there, I'm realizing, like, how fake I was, because I would act tough, and I've always been big, kind of big, tall and a big kid, and I would act like I'm this hardcore motherfucker, but I wasn't. I was scared inside. I'm sensitive. I'm kind-hearted. I'm loving, and all that gang shit wasn't really me. It wasn't really me at the beginning of it. Like I said, my father whipped my ass a gang of times, so I would be scared to fight. My homies were growing up in the when I got jumped into the 6th grade, 7th grade, they used to like call me a little bitch, right? Because I used to be scared to fight. Like, why'd you get jumped in, Because I used to be scared. Like, I didn't want to get beat. I didn't want to be reminded of what my father did to me. So I used to run when the homies used to get in a fight, I used to run. And for a while, I went through it, right? And, I went to juvenile hall, and that's when all that changed. I learned how to fight and whatever. I don't really want to glorify all that stuff, but I was just thinking about that right now. And then it came up. So at 18, before I went to prison at 10 years old with my church on a field trip, right? Before Wasco was open, they had the inmates, and I went with my church, and now that I look at it, it's like God telling me, like, this is where you're gonna end up, bro. At 10 years old, this is where you're gonna end up if you don't start changing your life around, and I didn't listen. At 15 years old, as a sophomore at Ridgeview High School, I went with the Scared Straight program, and they had all the inmates, and they're all trying to scare us, and I was tripping out on all the stories that they would tell you, right? And at that age, I'm fully active in gangbanging, not giving a fuck, and doing stupid shit. And 3 years later, I'm going shackled up to prison on a 2-year term that ended up 6 years, and did a lot of shit, put my mom through a lot of shit, like, I could sit here and tell you that I've been to the 4 yards and all that bullshit, all the riots, but what I never sat there and said to people, like I know a lot of you can relate when we're about to get in riots and get into it, and you act like you're all that and you're all this, and it's gonna go down. But inside, like I remember being in Corcoran, and we're going at it with whoever it is we're going at it with, and we're waiting for the cells to crack open, and my celly's a lifer, and he has a knife in his hand, and I'm like, fuck, scared, like scared, but like what the fuck is about to crack right now? Like in my heart, in my head, I'm like, don't open this door, don't open this door. So I say that to say that, like, growing up, I was really living a life that wasn't me, because I was searching for acceptance. I was searching for somebody to like grab a hold of me and say that, acknowledge me. That's what I was searching for. 5 minutes is it? Am I already? So, so go on. So I did a lot of prison terms. I got out 6 years later from when I went in when I was 18. I started using meth for like 2 years, stopped, stayed clean for like 7 years. Had a good ass job, just had everything. I lived right there on Ocean Boulevard right next to the beach. I had a good life, I had my own place. I was trying to screw everything that walked. And I met this girl who I caught getting high in my bathroom. And there I was again, hitting it. And since that time, like that was 2013, I ain't been clean longer than 90 days since 2013. And I just wanted to come up here and share how happy I am right now, man. Like I ain't been this happy in a long fucking time, man. A long time, man. The other day, I had my son, right? My son didn't want to talk to me at all. He came down from Vegas for like 2 weeks, right? And this is after I leave Fred Brown, after I get out of Fred Brown. I'm jumping a lot, but I want to get to the main thing that I want to talk about how happy I am right now because of Fred Brown. Scott once told me, like, you got to keep working at it. You got to keep working at it, and God will bring you everything that you desire, And it's true, man. My son, like, I haven't talked to my son like in a long ass time, man, and we really bonded. I was teaching him how to drive, and I come from I came into these places thinking that this shit ain't gonna work, it's not gonna work. All these little things, these things that sound like cliche, that they're not gonna work. Like focusing on yourself, identifying shit that's within yourself that's gonna cause you to relapse. Like little ass things that you guys hear, that you guys think ain't gonna work, fucking works, bro. It fucking works. And I'm proof of it, because I would go to these programs and just do everything on the surface just to get by and get the fuck on and go use again, And that's been my life since 2013, and it's sad, because it would cause so much destruction and so much pain, and now doing things the right way, being able to call somebody, being able to talk to somebody, being able to open up and talk about the shit that you're really going through inside. That shit fucking helps so bad, man. So the only reason why I wanted to come up here is to let you guys know, for those of you who are doubters, who don't believe that asking for help or talking about the shit that's fucking you up inside does not work, it fucking works, man. I come from the same lifestyle that many of you come from, the gangs, the hardships, the prisons, the fucking, the loneliness, the sitting in your fucking car not knowing what the fuck is gonna happen next. Like seriously, like pissing inside my car in a bottle because I'm so fucking scared to get out of my car because I think somebody's looking at me. Like that shit is like, it's depressing, bro. It's depressing, and still to not have the balls to ask somebody like, hey, I need fucking help. Hey, and not just ask for the help, but actually do the work, do that work that's gonna get you right. Like speaking to people. And Matt walked me out of my first fucking urge I ever called. That's the first person that picked up the phone when I got that urge, and it was the first time in my life since fucking I can remember that I picked up the phone and said, hey, I want to get high. What do I do? And Matt guided me to the Alumni Club, bro. When I was like, Matt, all right, I'll call you when I get to the Alumni Club. And Matt's like, nah, motherfucker, you're going to talk to me till you get to the Alumni Club. And my shit's that bad, because I seen a guy and he's like, what's up? Let's go get high. I haven't seen him in 2 years. And all of a sudden, you guys, I get that throw up feeling, the fucking taste in your throat. I start farting on myself. Like that real urge shit, man. Like that shit that takes me out all the fucking time. And it's crazy to how fucking easy it is, bro. Like I feel like so disappointed because it really is that fucking easy, dude, to just talk. the power of your words are so strong, bro. To just talk about the things that you're going through, and shit will come to you. Like the other day, my girl's pregnant, right? And I'm sitting at the doctor's. I have two kids previous to this relationship that I'm in. My son's 18 and my daughter's 20. And I never participated in none of that pregnancy shit, none of it. Like I excuse my language. I got her pregnant. 9 months later, hey, they're born, and I'll go show up. I never participated in there. I'm sitting in the doctor's office and I'm seeing on the screen the ultrasound, man, and that shit broke my heart, bro, because it was so like it was beautiful, dude. And to be able to experience it and smile about it and enjoy that fucking emotion. Like a long time, I had these tears of suffering, of just not knowing what the fuck to do, and now these tears, they're a fucking joy, bro. They're a fucking like I'm so happy with myself right now. I'm happy where I'm at, and I started going to school as a to be an SUD counselor, right? And let me go back a little bit. I got to Fred Brown in May, and school gave me a leave of absence. I got out of Fred Brown, relapsed 2 weeks later, and I was like confused about what am I gonna do with school, because I really want to be a counselor, right? That was that's what I want to do. That's what I feel that is in my heart to do, is to help other people like myself. And the shit that I had to do to become that, like, I'm sorry, Roxy, I'm gonna be honest right here. Like, I had a sneak in, and I don't recommend it to anybody, but I snuck in my laptop when I relapsed to Fred Brown, and at 4 a.m, I'll be in the restroom on my laptop doing my schoolwork, right? Because I knew that was my calling. And the shit that I went through to get me to that point, like when I relapsed from Fred Brown, and Scott and Matt were talking to me like, hey, come back, come back, come back. Like, it meant a lot. It meant the world to me, bro, to have them people care for you that way. And they didn't even need to. Like, I fucked off the program and I went off and got high. I was living at Matt's house, and I went off and got high. And these guys are over here calling me, worried about what I'm doing or where I'm at, to come in. And when I come back, for them to keep me there, for Scott to keep me there with them because he wanted to see me do good, like, that shit means a lot, And being able to experience those things and really identify the shit that made me go out, like the being in my car by myself, helping identifying the shit that would bother me, right? Like, damn, I'm jumping all over the place and I'm just catching on to that. So anyways, we'll stop there and get back to the SUD counseling. I'm sorry. so I'm just happy, bro. I'm happy. So I get out of Fred Brown and I'm doing my school, and I'm back at the RBH, and finally it's time for me to go do my internship, bro. And before I say this, you know how a lot of people, when we go to the meetings and we're sitting there and we're like, we start paying attention to the negative shit we start paying attention to stupid shit that the people are saying. Like when they glorify the things that they have now, a lot of times I would be one of the ones that, like, bro, all he talks about is what he got. And I finally understand why that is, I finally understand why is it that we glorify the shit that they got, because we've been used to having shit all our lives. Now that we retain some shit, we get some shit, it feels so good to throw it out there, like, this is what I'm doing. And that's the feeling that I got, like, I started doing my internship at Lakota, right? And I'm doing my internship there, and I got 3 months of internships to do. And at the third week mark, Michael calls me in, who's my supervisor. He's like, hey, how would you feel about working for us? And that shit blew my mind, bro. Like, that shit really blew my mind. Like, I didn't think it was true. I didn't think even though to some people it's something so small, but to me, that's a big fucking thing. It's an enormous thing. And I was like, yeah, I want to work. This is what I want to do. This is what I feel God put me on the earth to do. And there, he didn't talk to me about it. And like a week and a half later, I got the offer letter in my email, bro. Like, hey, they're offering your position as a SUD counselor. And that shit right there, man, that made me feel so fucking good. It made my family feel good. It made everybody around me feel good. It made my son feel good. And it's just and it's because of this place. Because of, like, I would sit there and be like, oh, everybody's giving too much love for Fred Brown, like, what is Fred Brown doing for me? But that's the stupid ass talking, like the outside, the surface guy. But Fred Brown helped me identify shit in myself that I didn't know was there, gave me structure, gave me like I get up in the morning and make my bed because of this woman now, you know, because of Nancy, you know, like the shit stays in you, like that's why they're so on you, like, and I love the way they, like, I've been to the Phoenix House, I've been to Health Right 360, I've been to fucking to Lakata 4 times, like, and none of it worked. None of it fucking worked until I came to Fred Brown. And now I understand why people glorify Fred Brown. At first, when I'd be sitting, when you guys are out, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't see that. You know, but like, it helped me identify shit within myself that I didn't know still existed in me, you know? Like the feelings that I have over my father, like I was able to call him and talk to him. I was able to call my son and my daughter, and even though my daughter doesn't talk to me, I was able to apologize and let her know what I was doing in life and why I was doing the things that I was doing, because I wasn't in a good place, and just to be able just to have the, like, I would never be the one that would speak on the shit that I have going on inside me. And because of Fred Brown, I'm able to talk about that shit now. I'm able to throw all my worries out into the universe and see what I get back, see what feedback I get back. Like, you would never in a million years catch me up here talking about everything I'm talking about, being vulnerable and showing emotion. Like, that's not my upbringing, you know, that's not who I am. You don't ask for help the way I grew up, you know, you take it. And once I realized that asking for fucking help can help your life out so good, everything changed, bro. And Scott told me this, he told me this, like, it doesn't matter if you measure your sobriety by the fucking hour. If that's where it starts, that's where it starts. And that shit stayed with me, you know? Like, for today, I'm just measuring my sobriety just for today. And like I said, the cliches that sound like cliches, they work, bro. If you really put the work into it, they fucking work. So, I know it's kind of all over the place, and I'm sorry. I will get better at this. I plan to come back on my year to let you guys know where I'm at. And again, for those of you who are doubters, like I was, it's not gonna hurt you to try, bro, and see what you get back. Thank you for letting me share.